one of our favorite segments, really, ever. We love talking about the Orioles farm system and a lot of good things to talk about right now. We're with Mr. Melewski. You can find more from Steve at MASNsports.com. And Steve, thank you so much for coming on. And let's start with Grayson Rodriguez, who continues to mow down AA hitters. I guess the issue is right now his innings for the year and the end of this season around the corner.
Well, it sent Twitter into a frenzy the other night, Brett, when he was pulled from the game after 3 perfect innings and he struck out 5 batters. He threw just 34 pitches. But that was by design to get him through the season. And look at what a season it's been. You know, we know Grayson stacks up as about the best pitcher on the Oriole farm, that's for sure. But look at where he stacks up against everybody else. I mean, this is all the best pitchers in the minor leagues. 9th in ERA, strikeouts 3rd, but then look at these bottom 3. I mean, this shows you swing and miss. No one does it better. K per 9, he's 2nd. Strikeout percentage, 41.2. That leads all of minor league baseball. And I mean, the arsenal is just exceptional, as we know. Mid to upper 90s. Breaking ball, swing and miss there. The changeup has improved. He's really worked hard on learning scouting reports and learning how to attack hitters this year. And just getting all the way through the season with those stats healthy. He's going to start, it looks like, Wednesday night for Bowie in the final week of the regular season. Coming up, they'll be at Prince George's Stadium chasing a playoff berth. And then if Bowie makes the playoffs, the Orioles would give him another start. So if he gets those 2 starts, including postseason, he'll probably finish around 108, 110 innings. That sets him up for next year, Brett, when he could go 140, 50, 60. Obviously, some of those innings next year could be in Baltimore. And here's another stat on Grayson. He's now pitched 211 career innings. So, you know, if you were a major leaguer and you were a workhorse, you'd have about that. He's 19-7 with a 2.43 ERA in those 200-plus innings with 305 strikeouts. How many pitchers do you see go 200 innings, 300 strikeouts? That's Grayson Rodriguez for his career.
And, Steve, I have to confess this. It took all my willpower not to text you after I saw Grayson get pulled after 3 innings. I resisted. I said this is probably for all the right reasons, and we move on. But Grayson continues to dominate down on the farm. There's a young outfielder, 19 years of age, Mishael Deson, who the Orioles acquired from Michael Givens. And, Steve, he's really impressing.
Really impressing. Look at what he did in the Florida Complex League this year. He hit 369. He was also getting a few walks, and he was just this week promoted to Delmarva. Played a couple games for the Shorebirds, 1 for 8, but just 19 years old. And that trade was last year, Brett. Michael Givens went to Colorado on August 30th, 2020, and the Orioles got 2 players they really liked in Terrin Vavra and Tyler Nevin, and a player to be named later, which turned out to be Mishael Deson about 3 weeks later. So that is a trade that could be really good for the Orioles. And Michael's having a good year. But this kid, they move him up to Delmarva, kind of give him a taste of next year where he could probably be the starting center fielder there. He's got all-around tools, so there's no standout tool that blows you away, but there's no weak tool either, all across the board. Defense pretty good, running pretty good. They think he'll come into raw power. And Brett, at 6'3", 155, he's going to put some strength and pounds on that body, and that's going to help him start driving the ball out of the ballpark. And we're seeing the international flavor now filter in to the full season clubs. I told you on this show a few weeks ago, Isaac De Leon, who's playing at shortstop in FCL now, will probably be Delmarva's starting shortstop next year. Deson could be in center field. So now you're seeing that international pipeline. They've acquired some players they've signed, and they've traded for guys like this guy, starting to move up the ranks.
And much, much more to come in that department. We hear Brandon Hyde mention this all the time, Steve, that most big innings, somewhere in there's a long at-bat and a walk or 2. I know this is being emphasized by the entire organization right now, really starting with young minor leaguers, but how much of an emphasis is it?
Big. And here's the top 5, Brett, and we're throwing a lot of numbers at you here, but walk to strikeout ratio. I looked up today, there are only about 6 or 8 players who have played all year that are 1-to-1. It's so rare, but if you can get a high walk to strikeout ratio, in other words, Adley Rutschman draws 0.85 walks for every strikeout. That's pretty good. These are the 5 who control that number the best on the Oriole farm this year. And then you look at the other components here, you see that Patrick Durian walk rate, tremendous. That's the best walk rate of any Oriole farmhand this year. Look at Adley across the board, 396 on base. Durian, 370, 390 for J.D. Mundy, who, by the way, has had a hand issue, so we're not going to see him anymore, but he really had a great year this year establishing himself. So this group has really done a great job of controlling the strike zone. They don't chase many pitches. They don't strike out a lot. And, oh, by the way, their production is good. Their walk rate is good. And there are others. Brett, Kyle Stowers has a 13.7 walk rate. That's one of the best on the Oriole farm. That's helped him have a big year. Jordan Westberg has a 390 on base. No, by the way, had an amazing triple last night in the 9th inning for Bowie that drove in 3 runs and helped them win a big ball game. So it's exciting to see these kids with talent and then stats to match. And then you go see the coaching they're giving them on the farm, where they're really working hard on controlling the strike zone, getting a good pitch to hit and putting your A swing on it when it happens. Big.
Yeah, Stowers at number 25 last night as his amazing season now continues in AAA. It's nice to see Jordan Westberg do what he's doing right now and making the adjustments in AA Bowie. I think those two will get a lot of spring training at-bats come March. But Adley Rutschman, he continues to do his thing in AAA, really hitting the cover off the ball. In some ways, he's even better in AAA than in AA, but he had a big one on Friday night.
Big one. I mean, you want to see some exit velocity? There it is. From Josh Norris's Twitter on Baseball America. That got out in a hurry on Friday night by Rutschman, who just shows big pop from both sides of the plate. And, I mean, that's the kind of swing the Orioles want to see him put on a ball. You know, launch angle, exit velocity, any number you want to put on that, Brett, looks pretty good. But the Orioles really like the swing decisions the players are making this year. We've talked about, you know, the stats that we posted on that graphic. Those are publicly available to you and me and anybody else who wants to take the time to find them. But the Orioles go beyond that, obviously. Their proprietary information, the swing decision data, and daily information. They provide the players with feedback. Are you swinging at the right pitch? You took that pitch in the 7th inning. Should you have taken that pitch? These are things that they're giving the players daily, which is leading to those stats that we showed.
All right, our Sundays with Steve. Steve, you hit it out of the ballpark again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brett.